Hey guys, what's up? Listen, this video is something that is a little different than my other videos because it's not about using a blog to build your business. It's actually about something completely different. It's another topic which I'm just gonna spit it out right away. It has to do with politics, actually. It has nothing to do with making money. It has a little bit to do with activism, but the message is clear. And if you watch this video, you're gonna find out what it is I'm talking about. Now, I'm actually a very big supporter of fixing a root of the problem. If there's a problem, I want to get to its root and I want to fix its root. So when it comes to politics and it comes to gun control, yes, I think that more background checks would be helpful because it would maybe curb gun violence, and I'm all for it. But that's just a symptom of the root, and the root is in the law. And the law that I'm talking about is the Second Amendment. Now, unless that is the root of our gun violence or gun issue. Like, yes, human nature probably through fear and desire and anger wants to keep guns in their house. That's human nature. But I'm talking about law. I'm talking about the system of law that has made our country as successful as it is today. Yes, there's problems, of course, but I think the U.S. has done a pretty good job. Some people don't think so, but it's a democracy. We're living in a democracy, and it's a pretty good one if you look comparatively at the rest of the world. And I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. So let me get back to my original point. Sorry, which was gun control. So you have to fix the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is the Second Amendment. Now, if you get rid of the Second Amendment and you change the Constitution, then you can start doing things to gun control, okay? Because there's no constitutional support that supports guns everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You have to fix the root of the problem. Now, where does this come in? Well, I'm not worried about gun control. Maybe I am, but for me, the root of the problem of the U.S. government is the how can I phrase this? It's the it's the unfairness of private campaigning. Yes, I got it. All right. It's the unfairness of private campaigning. So, what this means is that anybody in the House and the Senate is loyal to whoever is paying for their campaigns, and so has to vote that way or else they won't get reelected. Now, I'm not saying this is a problem with the person, with the elected representative, okay? Because people are people, and we're electing people within the human condition that we're all living in, that we all have anger, we all have fear, we all have desire. I'm not blaming the person. I'm blaming like the means to which people get into the government, which is private campaigning. So that means that any decision that has to be made is a money-based decision rather than common sense. I'm not going to say right or wrong. I'm going to say common sense because certain things are common sense that don't get passed because they're not privy to the large corporations. And let's not blame the large corporations here because they're doing what they're supposed to do in capitalism. Yes, they're probably cheating. There's probably corruption. But that's not the issue. That's a symptom of the problem. And the problem is not having fair elections. Because if you have fair elections, then the House and the Senate and the president, well, of course, the president has the House and the Senate and the people can vote based on common sense and what is good for the country, not what is good for themselves. So let's not blame the individual persons. Let's fix the dent in the system. Let's fix the splinter in the system. And all that is the Fair Elections Act bill that needs to be passed in the Senate and the House. Now, how are we going to doing that? Well, I and many other people are still working up ways and thinking about that. But I want you to be aware that this issue will be coming to the forefront within the next couple of years, and that to get behind it, because if we're able to as a people, get the fair elections bill passed, whichever way that the leaders figure out how to do it, and who's ever passionate about it figures out how to do it, then we can basically take the root of the problem and change it and fix it. And we can now we can, instead of having stalling in the government, compromise will be much easier because people won't be voting based on lobbyists. The House and the Senate, the people in there will be able to vote based on, I guess, the good of the country rather than the good of the corporations. But with money in their pockets, they can't do that. So this is not a human error, okay? This is a system error that peacefully just needs to be altered and just needs to be fixed, and that's what passing bills are for. And so we have to change the root of the problem. Now, that's all I'm going to say for today. That's all that's important to say for today, is that if you want to fix a problem, if you want to change something, you got to change its root. Okay? And it's not, blaming people is not going to get the job done. And why am I doing this? Why am I believing this? Not because I want to change humanity and I want to spread love and joy and I want to, any kind of altruistic means. I just want to fix the system so that I myself can live in a more fair society, more equal society. It's not a fair society because corporations are able to basically buy politicians, and the law allows them to do that. And so we have to change the law to make it more towards fairness. It's as simple as that. It's nothing to get riled up over. I mean, I think that for my whole life I'm going to be like a comfortable person when it comes to wealth, even if I'm going to be poorer at some stages than I am at others. Uh, but it's nothing to get riled up over. It's just something to fix. It's like, fixing something in a car, like a mechanic fixing something in a car. That's it. It's fixing the system, and it seems simple. It seems simple, but it's just going to take effort and it's going to take dedication. But we can do it. I mean, actually, there's a lot harder things that have been done accomplished than trying to get past one bill. Because if you think about it, like, if everyone got together to, like how there was 90% of people in the country that wanted gun control, if everyone got together and kind of threw online saying that we're only going to vote for people that pass the Fair Elections Act so that we can start passing bills based on common sense and good judgment rather than corporate interests, which is, everyone believes in, even the politicians themselves. It's just that there's nothing they can do about it because they're fighting for their own will. They're fighting for their own survival like the rest of us are. Then when we can do it, there's no reason why we can't do it. It's just going to take some effort. It's going to take some effort and some movement and some bringing together, and it's simple. It's simple. And okay, I'm gonna stop now. This was a really awesome video. I'm just getting ready. I'm getting prepared. I'm practicing.